surprising nature of living with the land. Our journey begins as dramatic and sudden changes are sweeping over the land. The approaching storm may seem violent and destructive to us, but to nature, it's a new beginning in the cycle of life. Beneath the surface of the land, roots trap water from the flowing mud, extracting precious nutrients and minerals. These elements, when combined with sunlight, create the diverse living systems of our planet. One of those living systems is the rainforest, home to the most amazing concentration of life on our planet. These dense and beautiful forests cover only a tiny portion of the Earth's surface, but they contain more than half of its plant and animal species. Rainforests are also extremely rich and productive living systems, providing us with oxygen, food, medicines, and other elements essential to our lives. In the desert, nature has created a very different but no less beautiful living system. And while this arid landscape may seem lifeless, it is very much alive. The plants and animals that have learned to survive in these harsh conditions make use of what little water they can find and avoid the scorching rays of the relentless sun. The American prairie once appeared as desolate as the desert, but over time, rainwater and nutrients gradually penetrated the hard surface of this land. Even the hooves of the mighty buffalo helped create the rich soil that would one day become home to the American farm. Of all the forces at work on the land, humans have had one of the most profound effects. The need to produce food for a growing world led to the enormous use, and sometimes overuse, of the land. In our search for more efficient ways to grow food, we often fail to realize the impact of our methods. Today, we're learning to live with the land, discovering better ways to grow food that will assure both human and environmental well-being. Reduce the need for pesticides by using natural predators like ladybugs and wasps to control pests. In Japan, we're learning that by adding composted leaves and other plant material to our soil, we can reduce the need for fertilizers. In farmlands across America, we're learning that by plowing in vegetation containing natural fertilizers, we can enrich the soil without the use of chemicals. In Saudi Arabia and Mexico, we're learning to produce food on desert seaplanes by developing and planting crops that are dry and How will we meet tomorrow's growing needs for food production, yet still respect the needs of the land? Some of the answers are being discovered just ahead.
everybody, my name is George and I work here in the land. Here in our living laboratories, the scientists from Epcot, Department of Agriculture, NASA, and Nestle's are exploring innovative and sustainable methods of food production. As a part of this effort, along with future harvest centers, we're showcasing new ideas from around the world. The tamarind and the sesbania trees in Africa are being used to replenish the soil and increase crop yield. They take nitrogen from the air and put a natural fertilizer back into the ground. Some farmers, by growing these fast-growing trees among existing crops, have quadrupled their harvest. These trees also provide food for humans and livestock and firewood for the homes. 60% of the world's taro is being raised in Africa. The taro thrives in wet, moist land. It'll grow in areas that most crops won't grow in. The root from the taro is similar to a potato, and like the potato, it can be boiled, baked, mashed, or fried. The taro root has become a staple throughout Africa. When I mention farming, you probably don't think about fish, but fish farming or aquaculture is another way we can increase our yield and protect our wild fish stock all at the same time. At the moment, we're in the process of refurbishing our aqua cell or fish farm. Normally, we would be raising tilapia, sturgeon, eel, shrimp, and catfish in this aqua cell. The fish that are raised in this aqua cell are served in restaurants throughout Walt Disney World. Now, the alligator on the right is no longer an endangered species. There are more than 1 million alligators in Florida. Some of them are raised on farms for the meats and hides, just like these are. Others play a key role to wetlands conservation. All told, we can produce about 6,500 pounds of fish per year in this one aqua cell. Aquaculture produces 20% of the fish consumed by the world today. The pumpkins and the corn are only 2 of the many crops that originated in Latin America. The teosinte is the ancestor for today's corn or maize. Through centuries of selective breeding, the teosinte has become the world's #1 grain crop, corn. The corn that you see growing behind the teosinte was developed by scientists in Mexico and India. It tastes like regular corn. It's actually higher in protein than cow's milk. It is a great crop to grow in areas that are suffering from malnutrition. The plants that you see growing vertically produce more food in less space. Vertical growing allows for better airflow between the leaves, which make the plants more disease resistant. Now, if you'd like to grow plants vertically at home, you can do so by using trellises. The Asian cucumber is resistant to powdery fungus. Powdery fungus can damage your cucumbers and lessen your yield. By using these disease-resistant plants and beneficial insects to eat insect pests, we save on pesticides. The plants growing vertically produce more food in less space. Vertical growing allows for better airflow between the leaves, which make the plants more disease-resistant. Now, over 800 species of gourds around the world. The wax gourd is one of the more unusual ones. The wax gourd is very popular in China. This next greenhouse, which will be the final greenhouse, will be practicing cutting-edge technology. I'm sure that you've noticed none of our plants are growing in soil. This is hydroponics, growing plants without soil. Well, in this greenhouse, we're going to kick it up a notch. The plants you see flying through the air, their roots get all the oxygen they need from the air. And as they go through the mist boxes, the roots are sprayed with the water and nutrients they need. This is aeroponics. The roots are exposed to the air. In the lab, coming up on the right, we of the Department of Agriculture are exploring ways of making better plants through biotechnology. In our last experiment with NASA, we're studying ways of producing food in space colonies. At the same time, we're recycling oxygen and wastewater. So you see, there is a lot we can learn from science and nature about living with the land. The greenhouses and labs we just went through are only part of the story. After harvest, the crops need to be handled with care on their journey from field to table. Around the globe, scientists from Nestle's and other organizations are dedicated to improving the quality and taste of foods the world enjoys and relies on. Working together, we can preserve the land as a precious and beautiful resource while meeting the needs of our growing world. Only then will we truly be living with the land. Some of the vegetables grown in here are served in the Sunshine Seasons Food Fair, which is the food mall just off from the exit of the boat ride. Some of the vegetables are served in the garden grill upstairs in this building. The fish are served throughout the Walt Disney World property. The catfish is a specialty of the garden grill. Now, on behalf of Walt Disney World and Nestle's, it has been my privilege sharing the unique experience of living with the land. Around the corner to right, you'll find a Food Rocks concert. It's a rock and roll concert on food nutrition. Upstairs, we have the Circle of Life, and environmental fables like Simba, Timon, and Pumbaa from the Disney animated feature The Lion King. Now, please remain seated.